Okay, so our opponent decides, that's it. Hi there, I'm the BigCraigO, and you're joining me to watch the next in my deck tech series. Today we're going to be doing all things Gruul and in the form of land destruction. So a deck that's sort of seen a little bit of play over the last few months, I would say, but something that I think we could see how it would go with such complex mana bases being used. So from my point of view, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays. So without further ado, let's go and check out the actual cards that are in the deck. Well, okay, looking at these cards, we've got a few little things here and there. You notice that it's got 61, not 60 cards. I think that from my point of view, I put an extra forest in accidentally, but you know, whatever. It's not going to make a massive difference, I don't believe. Having a look at what's in the one drop slots, you'll notice there is no one drops. It's all two drops. So basically, if you happen to draw into a land whilst playing a deck like this that comes into play tapped or etc., that's not a bad thing. Just play it out first off, so to give you that opportunity to sort of filter. As far as the two drops go, we run a full play set of Cleansing Wildfire. So this card allows you, it's a sorcery speed, one red, one other. Destroy target land, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, draw a card. So it's got a couple of little functions there. First thing is obviously you can pick out specific pieces of their mana base to destroy. So that's fine. They'll get to replace it with a basic land card. So for those decks that are complex when it comes to colours, it can be quite challenging for them to have everything covered. So that's good. They have to shuffle their library. So if they're setting up a bunch of different cards, that'll give you the opportunity to get them to shuffle. So that's kind of cool. And you can actually cycle this. So you get to draw a card on the back of it. So it's good to be able to do that. A full 4 of Fiery Prophecy, one red, one other, for an instant speed. This causes 3 damage, and you can select a card out of your hand, shuffle it, draw another card. So that's kind of cool. Dual Strike, 2 red for an instant spell. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell with mana value 4 or less this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that for the copy. So that's kind of cool. You can foretell it for 2 mana and then it will only cost you 1 red. It's quite good for comboing up some of the other pieces and other things in this deck, I would suggest. Finally, in the 2-drop slots, we have the Wolf Willow Haven. This is very popular in the Sultai Ultimatum decks. 1 green, 1 other for an enchantment aura. You get to enchant one of your land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional green. Pay 1 green, 4 other, sacrifice the Haven, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, activate only during your turn. This can be quite good for sort of blocking or doing that last bit of damage, but most of the time it's just the mana ramp side of it that's really beneficial. Moving on to the 3-drop slots, we have pretty simple all-star there, Bone Crusher Giant for 1 red, 2 other for a 4/3 giant. When it's targeted, it does 2 damage to whomever targeted. It also has the instant adventure stomp attached to it, which is 1 red, 1 other, where you get to do 2 damage to target, any target, and your whoever gets damaged by it, damage cannot be prevented this turn. So that's quite good fun. A full play set of Cultivate, 1 green, 2 other, allows you to go and get up to 2 basic land cards from your deck, put them into your hand. 1 goes onto the battlefield tapped, and then 1 obviously stays in your hand. You get to shuffle your deck. Moving on to the 4 drops. We're on a full 4 smashing success. So 1 red, 3 other, destroy target artifact or land. If an artifact is destroyed, create a treasure token. This is really good in conjunction with Dual Strike, because obviously if you've got 5 mana, you can play Dual Strike, cast this, it will then double, it'll get copied, and you'll have 2 copies, so you can kill 2 of their land, which is quite nice. That's a really good card. Moving on to Storm's Wrath, so there's a bit of mass removal here, 2 red, 2 other. Storm's Wrath deals 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Also can be used with Dual Strike if you find yourself in a really tough situation, but majority of the time -4, so doing 4 damage to everything on the battlefield is quite good, although you need to play around your own Bone Crusher Giant and Wolf Willow Haven tokens, because they will also get smashed by this. Moving on to the 5 sort of drop slot, we have Chandra, Heart of Fire, 2 red, 3 other for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. +1, discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library. Till end of turn, you may you may play cards exiled this way. So that's the first mode. Pretty cool. It's good when you have no cards in hand to do this, but beyond that, it's pretty much always focusing on the second mode, which is also +1 to loyalty. Chandra, Heart of Fire deals 2 damage to any target. It's good just to chip away at your opponent's life total or any creatures they put out to try and stop you. And then the ultimate for this one is -9, search your graveyard and the library for any number of red instant or sorcery cards, exile them, then shuffle. You may cast them this turn, add 6 red mana. So it's a fairly good one for you to be able to just cause that maximum damage. And you know, if you've got 5 mana to cast this, plus you get another 6, it's 11 mana. You could do a lot of damage with things like Smashing Success, Dual Strike, etc. Waking the Trolls, and this is pretty much the thing this deck is all based around. So it costs 1 green, 1 red, 4 other for a Saga. The first mode for the Saga is to destroy target land, so you just get to pick something up, pick something and destroy it. Second mode is to put a target land card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, so your opponent's graveyard is perfectly fine. And then the third mode is choose target opponent. If they control fewer lands than you, create a number of 4/4 green troll warrior creature tokens with trample equal to the difference. So if you're chipping away at their land total and you end up in a situation where you've got six land out, you cast this, they've got 2 land, say. When it resolves, if it's still 6 and 2, you would get 4/4 troll tokens, which is pretty damn good. Okay, the mana base for this particular deck is fairly standard. It's got nothing that you would expect to see. Well, actually, it's not true. There's 1 card that's a bit different. So 2 mountains, 7 forests. I've added an extra 1 in there just because I think it needs an extra land. I'm not sure what I'd trim out. Maybe one of the Chandras or one of the Cultivates. I just think that the mana base needed to be a little bit bigger. But anyway, 4 of the pathway, red-green pathways. This is the one the land that I think's different. Most people wouldn't play this. It's a not vold slumber mound. Sorry, not vold slumber mound. Try and say that 3 times fast. It's a land, comes into play tapped. It can be tapped to generate red mana, or you can pay you can pay 2 green, 1 red, and 3 other, so 6 mana. Tap and sacrifice this land. You get to destroy a target land, and you get to create a 4/4 green troll warrior creature token with trample. Pretty cool. 4 Fabled Passages and 2 Field of Ruin. That's pretty much everything you need to know about this deck. We don't have a sideboard because we're just playing best of 1, and to be honest, this is a sort of fringe deck. I'm not going to invest a huge amount of time in developing a sideboard as well. Okay, let's go and have a look at the mana curve. Well, mana curve, 4 creatures in total in this deck. Yep, the Bone Crusher Giant, sorry, Blood Crusher. 4 creatures, 34 non-creatures. Average of the deck is 3.2. As I said, there's no 1-drops. You can see there's a massive amount of 2-drops, and then it obviously slides down from there. The deck is fairly strong on the red front, but you do have some fixing there. So basically running 6 red mana sources in total, which is enough. You only need 2 to be able to actually cast everything that's in the deck. Excuse me. all in all, it's going to be a bit of a slow build, and you're going to take a bit of damage. Hence why we've got a full playset of removal in the form of the Storm's Wrath. I think it's called the 4 damage, just to try and clear the board and keep you in a good position. But focusing in on copying those spells that destroy land, I think that's going to be the thing we need to do. Otherwise, we're going to get poleaxed. Cool. All right. Well, with that out of the way, let's go and play against Sparky. Wow, this hand looks fairly good. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, I always play the first game against Sparky. Sparky is Arena's AI program. It just means that I can basically learn the lines of play, have a bit of a chat about what I'm doing, a little bit more readily than when I'm playing against a human opponent. So, all in all, this looks like a fairly good hand, pretty mana heavy, but obviously that's what we want to build up the mana as quickly as possible. So, we'll keep.
It's a game, so remember to have fun.
Thanks, Sparky. I will have fun. I'm going to play this out, see what we're up against. A second red. Just going to blow up a land. Sparky King. What? Fair enough. Play green. Go to cultivate. We can go and get two different colours if we already got. Oh yeah, we've already got the red. 2 land. Put 1 into play. Other into hand. Okay. Sort of there. Fine. Yeah, might as well do it this way. Play Chandra, get her to do some damage to this Coal Blade. And she can keep ticking up while we build up our mana anyway. So we're at 5 now. Play this. Destroy another one of their lands. Kill their duty. Hopefully this deck works like this against our human opponents. I'd be pretty chuffed if that's the case. Yeah, put that into play. Play this out. Play the 4/3 out. And just sit back now. End turn. So we're going to produce a heap of trolls when this Waking the Trolls resolves. Wake of the Trolls resolves. Listen to me go. That in the library, don't need another one of them. There you go. Another red. Just basically doing huge amounts of damage, but this deck is it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes, because I already get this sense that the mana is a little temperamental. Search your graveyard and library for any number of red instant or sorcery cards. Exile them, then shuffle. You may cast them this turn. Okay, I think we'll just... do this. And that'll do it. Attack for a lot. Alright, seems to work okay. Let's see how it works against the humans. So it's go and play some human opponents anyway. All right, cool. Let's go to that. This hand looks pretty good. We obviously need to get some more mana before we can get into these, but it's got everything we need to start the process. So we'll give it a go and see how we go. Show our opponent hello and some lurb. Okay. Play green. We basically want to build towards these cultivates. Play this. Comes into play tapped. So might as well. Alright. Down to 18 we go. Start this and ramp. And we'll get a green and another red. Put the green into play. We have oodles of land, that's for sure. Which is what we want. It's what this deck uses. Yep. Okay, whenever opponent enters. Okay. Try and slow them down a little bit. Play this next turn, play that, destroy another one. Down to 12 we go. Okay. Play this. I would have loved to have been able to put that into play and then do that, but that ain't gonna happen. Down to 10. Sure. Actually, no, I can't do that this turn. So let me do this. Foretell this. So we're going to have a heap of trolls if this gets to go to the next step, which it does look like it will. Right, 4. Yep. Nice. Okay, so our opponent decides that's it. All right, let's move on to the next game. Well, this is a kind of strange hand. I'm going to keep it just to see how it goes. But yeah, I think it's a little tough. Play this out to start off with. I'm going to sacrifice it to go and get a green forest. And then next turn I'm going to play a mountain. I think. Next. End turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beginning if an opponent lost life this turn. Yeah, okay. Seems pretty good. Another red. Cool. Hopefully I'll be able to do this as well. Kill off their Mardu Outrider. And I'm going to put one of those back for now. Okay. So we got there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play this. Play this. Maybe 2 forests. Put one of them on the battlefield. Block one of their another one of their lands. They'll get to put it back, but it just helps me later on with things like that. The forest, I've got 2 forests left in my deck, so that's good. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 4. That's good. Put that into play. Play this. Play this. Get a 2/2 wolf. Go on defense. Doesn't destroy any of my land. It just was an enchantment, which is good. Okay, no blocks. Take him down to 20. Let's see if we can get a bit of damage through. Hopefully this doesn't gain flying or anything crazy like that. Okay. Yeah. There's I'm not sure what my opponent can do, let's say that. bash in. Sure. Unlucky. All right, let's go to the next one. Well, this hand is missing green, but I'm going to keep it and see how it goes. Bring the tap land into play. Not ideal. Whenever an opponent activates an ability that isn't a mana ability, interesting. Let's go this way. Let's kill that face. Yeah. Don't like that guy. He is tough. Kill their duty. Okay. Foretell that. Play this. Do 2 damage to their face. Search your graveyard it. Okay. Okay, so opponent decides they can't stand up against the might of Gruul destruction. Alright, let's go and wrap this up. That was pretty interesting. Look, from my point of view, this is definitely a Fringe deck. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think that it's got the same consistency that we need when you're playing against, say, Tier 2, Tier 1.5, and definitely Tier 1 decks. You get torn apart. But if you're looking for something a bit fun and a bit outside the norm, people would freak out if you started blowing up their land, because they'd be like, what the hell's going on? We didn't play against a lot of decks that I expected to play against. We seemed to play against a lot of Fringe decks also, which made it a little interesting to play. Still good fun. I think all in all, if you're looking for something to play, for just something outside of the normal rotation of what you play, feel free to check this deck out. Look, in the notes below, you'll see a link there through to Aether something or other. Where do I put my deck list? I don't even know what it's called. Aether Hub. Oh, my brain just went completely blank there. Aether Hub. So you'll be able to copy it and just drop it in and give it a try if you want to. It is a fun deck to play. I'd give this deck a C-. As far as its playability and everything like that goes. There are a few hands that were really awkward, like you needed 2 red and you only had 1, or you draw a hand that's only got red and you need green. So it's a bit weird that way. Definitely need to look at the mana base if you're going to play this, and just to smooth it out a little bit if you can. But other than that, it's a fairly good deck from my perspective. I think it's pretty good fun. Look, Other than that, guys, I guess it's just to remind you, I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is Greenwich Mean Time plus 10 hours. You're watching this on YouTube, which is thank you very much. Please feel free to give a comment below what you think of this deck and any other decks that you think would be good fun for me to do a deck tech on. And give a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you're keen as a jelly bean to get notifications on when I go live, you can check that bell icon. The other option, of course, is if you're keen, come along and check out the Twitch channel, the BigCraigO, when I go live. If you follow the channel or subscribe to the channel, you get access to additional stuff in our Discord. All that information is in the link tree just below this video, so go and check that out. Another thing just to mention as well is we really appreciate all the support we've got, been getting from everyone, the encouragement. It means a lot to me. I really do spend a lot of time away from doing other things so that I can do this, which I'm not saying for any other reason other than it means a lot when I get the thanks. So a lot of new players have come and said, you know, how do I do this, how do I do that, which has been really, really cool for the community that we're all invested in developing. So that's really cool. Check out the link tree below also. There's a link in there for Grey Viking Games, which is if you're after any sort of cosmetics or arena codes, you can click on that link. It'll take you to their website. Check out if there's anything there that you're interested in to purchase it. Wouldn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use that link, but we get some recognition and a little bit of a kickback from anything that you purchase, which we then translate into codes for us to be able to use. The last shout out that I've got is for a long time supporter of the channel in the form of Spectrum Games. So they're a retailer, seller, purveyor of magical cards and accessories based out of Sydney, Australia. You can check out their web store at www.spectrumgaming.com.au and see if they've got something that you're after. If they don't have a specific version of a card, feel free to send them a message. They may be able to source it for you. Other than that, guys, thanks very much, and look, keep checking out my deck techs. I have videos coming up on the channel each and every day, weekday of the week, so Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, so check that out. All right, there's the things I was just talking about beneath as well. Other than that, guys, I'm going to go and head off and do some other stuff, so look forward to seeing you all on the battlefield.